Good morning, and this is just between you and me. Don't tell anybody else, but it appears that the sun is shining this morning, at least for a little while, so let's enjoy that while we can. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and I come in bright and early on a Monday morning to share with you some news from the lily pad, from my Love-a-Duckie business, and also from Stampin' Up in general. So it's lovely to welcome you, and we're also going to do a bit of crafting this morning, a quick card. So on the table before me, good morning, Em. On the table before me I have some flyers and things that I was printing out last week, and a few little things to just remind me about some events that are coming up. So yesterday evening I spent most of the evening finishing off a sample of a box frame, a 30 centimetre to almost about 12 by 12 inch box frame that I'm going to be doing as part of a new little project, working in partnership with the Galleria at Burton Latimer. I'm going to be offering some classes over there. They don't start until September, but I just need to finish sticking all the final bits down and getting the photos done, and you can look out for that being promoted in the very near future. So that's exciting. That's something new and exciting coming up in the autumn. So what else have I got on my table? I've got a couple of classes that are going to be happening at home. Now my classes at home, I'm actually going to be swapping them to the afternoon. We trialled one as an afternoon class this past week, and it seemed to work quite well for everybody. So I'm actually going to be swapping those over. It just stops with clashes elsewhere for lots of people, and may mean that they're more accessible for some people to come along to. So starting on June the 28th, they're actually going to be 1:30 until 4. And so the next two classes at home that I've got are both technique classes. The one on Friday, the June the 28th, is a technique class, Fun with Window Sheets. So that's using our acetate sheets. So if you want to come and explore some different techniques for using your acetate, then come along on June the 28th. On Wednesday, July the 10th, we're going to be doing some floating die cards, and these are very popular on Pinterest and all over social media at the moment. So we're going to be having a play with those. So that's the next couple of classes at home. Also on the table before me on July the 4th, yes, American Independence Day, hence the red, white and blue on the flyer, we're going to be having another Completely Crackers bingo night. So do come and join us for that, because they are good fun. Lots and lots of prizes. It is £15 a ticket, but that ticket money is what I use to purchase all the prizes. So depending on how many people are there, depends on how big your prizes are, and they're normally pretty good prizes, and it's a good fun. We have 3 games of bingo. We create 3 little projects suitable for absolute beginners. You don't have to be a crafter, so bring along your non-crafty friends, as well as those of you that love to do a bit of tinkering with some stamp, ink and paper. So that's £15 a ticket. Lots of lovely prizes. We shall have some suitably American themed refreshments on the evening, a good fun night out. So July the 4th, come and join me for that. The next craft retreat is starting to sneak up on us. Saturday, October the 19th, over at Wadnow Village Hall. It's always a fabulous day, so do get yourself booked onto that. You do get completely pampered, fed, and have an all-round lovely day. So I'd love you to join me for that. And I've done a little flyer with the list of my Saturday Stamper classes. Saturday Stampers is just the overall generic name for the classes that I run. Tends to be the 4th Saturday. It's not always, but generally it's the 4th Saturday of the month, and there are some variations. So I'd got one booked for this Saturday, but there are lots and lots of people away having weddings, doing all sorts of things this weekend, so it may be that I cancel that one. But if, you know, last minute you would love to come and join me for an Above the Clouds class on Saturday, you will get a kit containing the new balloon punch and balloon stamp obviously that may well come now after the event rather than before, but if you would like to come along to that, do get in touch, and it would be lovely to see you on Saturday. The Saturday after that, Saturday Stampers after that, the one in July the 27th, is our Christmas in July. That class is filling up fast, so if you would like to come on that class, then do get your name down quickly. And then in September, we don't have one in August, but in September there is the big Christmas card buffet, and again I've already got some people signed up for that one, but that one is very definitely being held at Great Dodgington Memorial Hall, so we have got a little bit more room over there, but do get signed up for that. We won't know what stamp sets we're choosing from, but at the big card buffets you get to choose one stamp to take away with you as part of your kit. And then you get a choice of lots and lots of different cards to make. Always a lovely day. But we won't know the choice of Christmas stamps until I get to see them at the beginning of August, because of course our Christmas catalogue, our seasonal catalogue, goes live at the beginning of September. So you can get your name, put it in your diary, and details of the stamp sets and things will follow. And then in October we've got our retreat, obviously, and then in November I'm going to be doing a Christmas wreath, a paper Christmas wreath, by popular demand. So get those dates in your diary. If you'd like a flyer either sent to you, emailed to you, put in your hand, then do let me know. Right, quick slurp of water. It's quite warm out here this morning, but we're not going to complain. Okay, what shall we play with this morning? Well, I thought last week we were doing pretty florals that were very gorgeous and things, but I thought we'd go very different this week and we'd play with some dinosaurs. So the Dino Roar suite. It's on page 99 of the catalogue, and as well as all the stunningly beautiful papers, really bright, bold papers, some really good, so as well as being lovely dinosaur prints, there are also some really good general prints and things in there to use for all sorts of cards. So you've got your lovely papers, you've got these Dino Roar embellishments, so enamel embellishments, so they're really sweet. In fact, let's open them up so you can see them all. Not even taken mine out of the packet yet. So you get these leaves, and then these sort of little triangles that would be good for scales or something on your dinosaurs. That would be quite fun. So that's the Dino Roar enamel embellishments. We've got our papers. There's this ribbon, and it's actually denim ribbon. That is good fun. So although it's not necessarily matching exactly any of the colours in the suite, it just is good just to have some denim ribbon. I mean, that's not just for your dinosaurs, that will be fabulous for all sorts of projects. So that's good to have in the stash. And then obviously you get your stamp set with all our wonderful little cute dinosaurs on, and the dies that go with it. So it's a really great bundle. And what's really good in the catalogue this time is if there's something that you see that you want the entire bundle, you can just put in one code, and that's what you'll get, the entire bundle. So that entire bundle of stamps, dies, papers, embellishments and ribbon is £71.25 for everything. And the dies, if you notice, you've got sort of these sort of texture dies as well that are really good just for adding elements. You've got a tree trunk, you've got your dinosaurs, and you've got their spikes separately, so you can have them with or without spikes. So it's a good, fun little set. And I thought we'd have a go at casing another card this week, and we're going to case this little card down here that says, "Look who's hatched." So that's what we're aiming for. So here we are, this little dinosaur just hatching out of his egg down the bottom here. So let's put that to one side for now and bring in the bits and pieces that I've already started. So I've got a card base that's a thick Whisper White C6 card base that I've cut and scored and folded. Emily, I know you want it. Let me put That little die's jumped off there. And then I've cut a piece of paper, and this particular piece of paper is sort of cracked eggs and half opened eggs and really lovely colours, the pretty peacock. And there's that hint of yellow in there as well with the shading on the eggs. So a really lovely piece of paper. So we've got that there. Let me find my snail. Look, the other side is this lovely pink dinosaurs. Almost ashamed to hide them, but it's okay because we have more paper. We can play with pink dinosaurs another day. There we are. We've just stuck our paper down onto our card base. Right. We're going to need some eggs for our dinosaur to hatch out of. Now I've cut one already, so let's cut the other one. Let me just move those dies out, these bits out of the way for a minute while I bring up my very battered looking big shot. And let's just run that through there. Let's be good and save some space. So just run that through with some Whisper White card, and out pops our little half an egg. Beautiful, voila. That would make quite a good stencil or something, wouldn't it, if I'd have lined that up perfectly. It's a little bit wonky there, but there's another idea. You could cut that out and use it as a stencil. So that's our two halves of our egg. So there we are, 1 and 2. The other thing we're going to need is some leaves. So this was one that didn't quite stamp properly. I hadn't quite inked it up, but let's get out our ink stamp. There's some fabulous little sentiments in this stamp. Thanks for being a friendosaurus. I love you this much. It's more than it looks. Obviously, this is for our little dinosaur down here, our little T-Rex, whose little arms are not quite long enough to express how much he loves you. There we go. Somewhere I have my Simply Chamois. Let's give that a bit of a clean. Managed to get that ink everywhere. Pop that away. Good morning, Wendy. Welcome to the sunny UK this morning. Right. So let me find the little die. Here's the little die that's going to cut out that leaf. Instead, I've already cut some out. Otherwise, you'd all be nodding back off to sleep this time in the morning, 8 o'clock on a Monday morning, watching me die cut lots and lots of leaves. And let's bring back in our big shot. Pop that in. Now I perhaps should have done with my magnetic base plate, really, just to hold that in place. But we're up for taking risks on a Monday morning, although immediately dropping the plate on top of it is not the answer. Right, hopefully that will have done the job. Not bad. Okay, so that's our little leaf number 5 that we can die cut out with that little die that's in there. So we've got our leaves, we've got our eggs. Now I think we might need our dinosaur. So I've got some oddments of card here. And I think we're going to have our little T-Rex. Now I've not even inked up my T-Rex yet. He's not even seen ink. So what I will do is I'm just going to reach over and grab a piece of scrap paper that's been stamped with all sorts of weird and wonderful things and scribbles. but will do the job perfectly. So we're going to use some pool party ink for our little T-Rex. Oh, my pool party ink pad is due to be upgraded to a new one, I think, don't you? So what we'll do is we'll take our stamp to our ink pad if it's going to leap out of its case. And then I've got my foam mat here. Let's pop that underneath here, and we'll just do a trial stamp just because it is the first time that we will have stamped with it. And sometimes with photopolymer you need just to stamp it off on a piece of scrap paper before you commit to your project for the first time. After that you're all good to go. But that first time stamp, it's good to stamp onto a piece of scrap paper first. So let's stamp our little T-Rex on there. There he is. He's a little bit bubbly, but he will be fine because he's going to be popping out of his egg anyway. So let's close up that pad. And then we're going to do some nice spikes down his back. And we're going to use Old Olive for that one. So let me just clean up little T-Rex. And let's get out his spikes. There's 2 sets of spikes in this set. So you've got, let's see if we can get those to pick up. So you've got this sort of curved set just here that comes sort of quite nicely around your T-Rex's back, and then you've got this long set just here that is far more suited for this little guy down here. It will sit along his back just there. So you need to make sure you've got your right set of spikes for the project that you're doing. So some Old Olive, and again I've not used this stamp set before, so let's just give it a stamp before committing to our piece of card. Now we don't need to line this up because we're going to die cut them. So we want actually to leave a bit of space so we've got room between the two to put our dies. So let's clean those up. Let's clean my finger up a little bit. I seem to have managed to get green ink everywhere. That's the way to start your week. Start as you mean to go on, with ink all over your fingers. There we go. We shall need that again in a second actually for our greeting. Let's move our pad out the way and let's find the right dinosaur for the right dies for the right dinosaur. So there we are, little Mr. T-Rex, and then here's the die to cut out his spikes. Bring back on our die cutting machine. Now these new dies that Stampin' Up have brought out are really easy to line up because they really hug the edge of your image. Even his little hands there. Now, I don't know whether we're going to get that one to tuck in there or whether we've left that. Might be a little bit closer. Quite nice about that is it's left you with this white strip around here, which is just perfect for adding your adhesive and sticking him in place. They think of everything, don't they, those clever guys at Stampin' Up, guys and gals. Right, so let's cut those out. the way, and there we have a cute little dinosaur all ready to stick on there. Amazing. Can you tell it's the first time I've played with my dies? Okay. Let's... Now, because we're quite warm in the conservatory now, my glue is really running beautifully. Let's stick that on there. There he is. How cute is he? Little baby Tyrannosaurus Rex. So the only thing now we need to do, where have I put my little stash of paper? We need to stamp a greeting, and we're going to do that in Pretty Peacock. Oh, I've got an itchy hand. I wonder if it's the itchy hand that's supposed to bring in money, or the itchy hand that's supposed to have money going out. Far more likely to be the money going out, I fear. But who knows, there may be that you're all lined up ready to order this beautiful die set and stamp set, this bundle. And if you are, perhaps that's why my hands are itching, because you're all going to be sending lovely orders my way. So we're going to ink up and stamp the Look Who's Hatched sentiment. Let's again just give it a test run. Now I think actually we can bring it this way. Excuse me if my head does get in your way just there. Oh, look at that, I've done that without the aid of my mat, but that is fine, we got away with it. Right, I'm going to get my scissors. I do tend to just cut these by eye, I have to say. It's not very often I get my trimmer out for sentiments. That will do, I think. But obviously, if it makes you happy, then you absolutely can get your trimmer out to cut round those sentiments. Okay, let's have a little look what we've got. So we've got our C6 card front that we've placed our paper on the front there. I've also got a strip of vellum just here. Now we're going to need to attach our vellum, but I'm not going to do that until I've got my topper ready, because the vellum is gorgeous, but the downside of using it, of course, is that it's sticking it on, because very often you can see adhesive through the vellum, so you do need to be very creative in how you attach your vellum, but that is not going to be a problem in this case, because we've got a nice big topper that's going on the top. So if we make sure that the topper goes on first, we know just where we're going to be able to put our adhesive so that it doesn't show through. Right, let's take our little eggs, and we need to make those a little bit more interesting. So what we're going to do is, from the stamp set, we're going to take this little stamp here that is just little blobs, for want of a better word. It's almost like bubbles. And we're going to take our Mango Melody ink pad. Let's ink this up. And you see, you just got like those little bubbles just there. So we're going to have our egg that's going to be hatching like this, and we're going to put a few of these little bubbles just round the edge of the egg, like that. Now, as I said, this isn't one that's come out of my head. This is us casing the catalogue, because this is the first time that I've played with this set. So it was a, what shall we play with? What shall we make? When I come in on Thursday, it'll be things out of my head. Who knows where that will go. Right, so now I'm just using my sponge dauber and my pineapple punch ink pad, and we're just adding in a little bit of shading around the edge egg. A bit darker in some places than in others. And there we are. That suddenly looks a little bit more interesting. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything else back a little bit out of the way, because I'm going to take my Mango Melody stamping white marker and just going to hopefully add some splatters. That is very, you can hardly see it. I'm sure you're probably not picking that up on camera necessarily, but there is very definitely some little splatters going on there that just gives it that sort of eggshell texture. Right, so that's that and that's that. Now one other thing we're going to need is we're going to need one of these little brads. I think it does only need to be a little brad to bring our eggshell together. So I will bring back in my mat. I'm going to lay my eggs on top of each other like this. And somewhere in here I have my pickup tool with its nice little pokey tool on the other end. And I'm just going to use my pokey tool to poke a hole through my egg into that mat, and then we will add our brad. Oh, we missed on the bottom egg, we missed. There we go. Got you. Open out our little tails, and there we have our hatching egg with our little dinosaur that's going to come out of it. Like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of snail on the bottom of the dinosaur and tuck him in to that egg. Lift him up just slightly, and we'll tuck him into our egg like that, so he's coming out of there. And then I'm going to put some foam pads on the back to raise that up a little bit. And of course once I've stuck this down with the foam pads, it will stop flopping around, so that's the point at which you need to decide very definitely where you want your dinosaur open egg to sit. So let's put that bottom bit just there, and tucking that behind him, let's put that just there. There he is. And now, because we can see where that topper is, I can now add some snail on this vellum exactly where that topper is. That can come on the top here, and we've attached our vellum without any danger of seeing any adhesive whatsoever. So the last things we've got to go on, we've got our little leaves to cut in. Oh, Thea, you'd like to come to Nanny's house to stamp dinosaurs? We'll have to stamp dinosaurs the next time you're here, darling. Right, so I'm just going to put little glue dots on these leaves and tuck them in, excuse my arm, tuck them in under here. in our prehistoric jungle foliage. And last but not least, let's have this little one coming in here. And then I've got some of this denim ribbon, and what I've done, I've got two bits here. This bit I've already done. I've actually frayed the edges on it so that it's got sort of this nice wild sort of look to it. So I've got another bit just here, so I can show you exactly how I did that. And one side goes much easier than the other. So I've just got this little white thread just here that is the thread that runs through the ribbon. And all I've done is quite simply pull it for as far as you want your fraying to go. Now if you try and do that from the other end, it doesn't work quite so well, hence why I've got two little bits of ribbon, and I've frayed one each end. So let's add a little glue dot to that as well. And we'll tuck that under there so that all that's showing is these little mad frayed bits. And we'll do the same on the other side. I might trim that off a little bit because that's rather a lot to tuck under there. Here's our mad little bit of frayed ribbon. Pick up a glue dot. We'll add that one in there, and we'll sort of just pull those out a little bit, tease them out. Hello Karen from Australia, how lovely to have you join us this morning. So we're just casing a card from the catalogue, one of the dinosaur cards. It's 8 o'clock on a Monday morning here, so we like to keep our life a little bit easier, and I'm trying to encourage everybody to use their catalogues as not just as somewhere to go and shop, absolutely use it as somewhere to go to shop, but also to use it as a book of creative inspiration. That's my mission this month, is to help people to really look at all those samples in the catalogue, because they've done a really cracking job this year. So don't miss out on them. So I've put a little dimensional that end of my sentiment and a glue dot the other, and we'll just add that look who's hatched in there. That's rather beautiful. Now we need, he's very fun, isn't he? And he'd be great for whether it was a new baby boy or a new baby girl, wouldn't matter. You could always opt to change the colour of your dinosaur if you wanted to. You could have those dinosaurs in any colour you like. You could perhaps change out your ribbon and those sorts of things. So there's no reason why that couldn't be a very pretty pink dinosaur if you would like her to be. But little girls can have blue dinosaurs as well. So I'm just going to take some old olive ink, and I'm going to put a few more. Oh, that one didn't work quite so well, but that's okay. We can work around that. Just going to put a few little, let's put a few little leaves on the inside. And look at that, I've got ink on my finger. Why does that always happen at the very last minute? So we'll just have a stray leaf coming this way, and perhaps one coming in that way just to match. So there we are. Let's clean up this mat, because otherwise I'm going to get even more ink everywhere. So there we are, cased from the catalogue, and this time it does look almost the same, except I put mine on a white card base, and I think theirs was just the paper straight onto their card base, so they didn't have any border showing. But here we are, here's the little chap in the catalogue, and here he is on our desk. I think our T-Rex has leapt a little bit further out of his egg than the one in the catalogue. Perhaps it's the next stage on. That was just hatched. This one's getting ready to jump out. 5:30 in the afternoon. It's amazing, isn't it, how we can all be sort of sitting here at the same time in space, but very different times on our clock. So you're getting to the end of Monday. I hope it's been a good one. Ours is yet to come, and for the first time, and it feels like forever, we've actually got a little bit of sunshine this morning. We have just had rainy day after rainy day, and I think there's been quite a few arcs been started just in case. But thank you for joining me on this Monday morning. If you would like to get your hands on this fabulous Dino Roar suite, then if you are here anywhere in the UK, do get in touch. I would love to help you to do that. Obviously, if you're elsewhere, if you haven't already got a demonstrator, and I suspect you perhaps have, then you go on to the Stampin' Up. Sorry, I was reading comments. I shouldn't read comments because it just stops my brain from thinking and stops me from talking. If you are elsewhere in the country and you haven't got in the world and you haven't got a demonstrator, do go on to the Stampin' Up website and you'll be able to find a demonstrator who lives near you. But anybody here in the UK, then certainly do get in touch, and I would love to help you to purchase your very own Dino Roar suite, or you can go directly to my store from my website www.Love-a-Duckie.co.uk. Now Sarah is asking the measurements for a C6 card, so that's if you're here in the UK, Australia, Europe. C6 cards are half of a piece of A4 card. So you take a piece of A4 card. Have I got a piece of A4 card to hand? I have an A4 card that's got a painting on it. Will that do? There we are. It just shows you the size. So you take your piece of A4 card, you cut it in half at 14.9 centimetres. That gives you two pieces that are 14.9 centimetres. Swing it round and you score it at 10.5 centimetres. So that gives you your piece of A4 card cut in half, scored at 10.5 centimetres. And there you go. That's a C6 card ready to go into a C6 envelope, which of course you can also get from your Stampin' Up catalogue. So thank you for joining me this morning. I hope that helps, Sarah. I hope that makes sense, and that you can go off and create C6 card fronts to your heart's content. That is the one thing with casing the catalogue. Obviously, for those of us that do live in the world that uses a 4 size card, often the card bases that they show in the catalogue are a little bit sort of different shapes slightly to what we are used to, slightly squarer, but that's all right. They can always be adjusted because we are creative people. So I'm going to go off and have some breakfast now and a cup of tea, because that's what I do when I finish my lives on a Monday morning, and I look forward to coming in and seeing everybody again at 6 o'clock on Thursday evening. So have a totally awesome week.